So if Dan Le Batard didn't already make it very clear that he's a giant piece of shit, this latest stunt he just pulled will finally cement his legacy as a genuine piece of shit. In this article by the USA Today, it says ESPN radio host Dan Le Batard apologizes for social media poll making fun of player Jonathan Isaac's knee injury. If you don't know who Jonathan Isaac is, he is one of the NBA players. He plays for the Orlando Magic. He refused to kneel for the national anthem, which all NBA players seem to be doing. And because of that, he got a lot of supporters and he got a lot of haters, including Dan Le Batard. His jersey sales have gone through the roof. He is only second to LeBron James as far as jersey sales now. So his popularity has skyrocketed. But he got injured. He tore his ACL, and I believe he is out for the year. Right? But that did not stop Dan Le Batard from putting out his little stupid poll here, making fun of a player essentially for getting hurt, which is totally out of anybody's control. It says ESPN host Dan Le Batard apologizes for social media poll about Jonathan Isaac's injury. In the poll, it says #poll. Is it funny that the guy who refused to kneel immediately blew out his knee? This guy is amazing. Dan Le Batard, he defends himself by saying, first of all, I didn't think it was funny. During my show, I made it specifically known that I didn't think it was funny. So either way, we apologize for this poll and it was in bad taste, and so we're taking it down. That was after the poll backfired on them, with more than 50% of the people saying that it wasn't funny that a player trying to make a living for his family blew out his knee while just trying to provide. And here we have fucktards like Dan Le Batard who sit there and laugh from their comfy mansions and virtue signal and try to, latch on to these political agendas at the expense of somebody's livelihood, And if Dan Le Batard doesn't already know, I'm not sure if he played sports or not. I can tell by how fat he is. He just doesn't give a shit about health or being fit or, being an athlete. But whenever a player gets injured, doesn't matter if they're on another team, especially for us that we played football, doesn't matter if how much you hate the other team. You don't ridicule them. You don't stand over them and point and laugh. That's what you get. Even though sometimes you do want to do that, because you hate the player, you have to show respect and you kneel. You kneel for the player because guess what? That could be anybody. All right. So now what Dan Le Batard has opened himself up to is a lot of criticism. If anything bad happens to Dan Le Batard, well, guess what? There's a lot of motherfuckers out there that don't care, and just with the cruelty that he showed to this player, that's the cruelty that he is going to receive if, God forbid, anything bad happens to him. And so, to just sit there and say it was like karma or divine intervention that Jonathan Isaacs blew out his knee, it's just ridiculous. In his poll here, which he said essentially that it was in jest, just shows how these radio hosts and people in the media are so out of touch with reality. They're so far removed from the everyday working people that to them, it isn't a big thing to just support protests, to support the lockdown, to do all these things that are essentially in its core divisive for America, because they believe that it is a just thing, and therefore they're going to stand behind it, right? But not only that, they're basically making fun of a guy for not bending the knee, to the masses, right? Like I said earlier in another video about Colin Kaepernick and the first video for Jonathan Isaac, it's easy to do something when it's unpopular. I mean, to do something when it's popular. It's much harder to stand by your beliefs when nobody is behind you, as was Colin Kaepernick a few years ago. So the fact now that it's cool and it's trendy to support Black Lives Matter, and that anybody who opposes it is, I guess, open to made fun of if their ACL tears, it's just it's just ridiculous. And so, keep in mind also, Jonathan Isaac is black. He's an African American. So it is within his right to say whether he wants to stand or kneel. Dan Le Batard should have not, in his stupid little show of dumbasses, should have not interjected themselves into this conversation, because essentially they have no say in this Black Lives Matter movement. Guess who has the say? Black people and African Americans. They're the ones that can choose to either express their opinions about this issue because it directly affects them, or not. And it was Jonathan Isaac's decision, and he decided not to kneel, and therefore, as a African American, as a black person, you need to support that. Regardless. So if this is really about supporting, minorities, then you're gonna support them no matter what, right? So just because they don't fully bend the knee to your just cause, which it is not, it has become such a loaded term, the Black Lives Matter movement, that it has been essentially weaponized for political gains and for profits. But yeah, man, is anybody watching ESPN anymore? And plus his show, like I said, who watches this shit? But goddamn, this guy needs to go. He needs to stick to his little stupid lane there in Miami, and comment on the fucking Marlins or whatever the fuck they have there, the Miami Heat or something, and just, dude, what the fuck, Anyways, we'll catch you guys later.